Today in iPad integration, we are going to talk today about saving and printing student work from an iPad. Again, I'm Derek Brigette. I teach fourth grade in Fort Wayne Community Schools. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is one that I get asked a lot by other teachers. When students have been working on projects and when they have been, doing things in your classroom that you want to, let's say, put up on a bulletin board or display for whatever it may be. You want to show another teacher a copy or give them a copy of something a student's been working on. This is a very, very handy way of printing. Now, I want you to understand that you actually cannot print directly from the iPad to a printer. All right, so this is a little bit of I guess you would call it sort of a workaround, but it is the best solution I've found to sort of monitoring as well, because you really wouldn't want every student printing all the time or access to printing. So the process is actually sending it to their teacher. Their teacher then can figure out how they want it to be printed or copy and pasted into something, just depending on how things are done. But let's go ahead and get into the student side of sending work to a teacher. Okay, I have an student iPad in front of me. I have the Apple apps put into one category. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Apple apps. And I'm going to bring in, let's just say a student's been working on their vocabulary words in Keynote. And as I go into Keynote, I'm going to pull up one of these documents one of the students has been working on, and we'll go to one of their slides and we'll say, okay, here we have some slides. And let's say you wanted to print these off to display their work, or you wanted to print them off to show their parents, or show another teacher what they're working on, or even for that matter have the student correct it once on a piece of paper or whatnot, whatever it may be. Let's look at this. So here I have the assignment of different vocabulary words, definition in a sentence, pretty basic. Let's go up to the top right corner up here, and you see the square with the arrow. We're going to click on that. And we're going to go to the one where it says open in another app. Once we click that, it's going to bring up a few different selections. I kind of like to choose PDF because it plays well with all PC, Apple, it's just a real simple file. So let's go PDF. And I'm going to go choose where it says down here, it's in blue, it says choose the app. I'm going to click on that. And here's where you have to know exactly which app you want to open in. I already have the student logged into Gaggle. I'm going to click on their Gaggle, and it's going to automatically start uploading the file for me. Now, depending on what the student named it, that's the automatic name it's going to go into the digital locker as. So beforehand, you want them to name it specifically whatever you'd like them to save it as. So I'm looking, and it's done its thing, and you'll see a folder, a bunch of things on the right side. Now you're going to have to sort of remember, if they haven't named it correctly, what this is called. In this case, it's called presentation number 4 PDF. I'm going to click done. And then I'm going to take a look just to make sure. I'm going to click on, and I think the student's already saved it in their digital locker. So I'm going to click on PDF 4, and we hope that this comes up. And sure enough, you'll see it does come up, and here's their slideshow. It's saved. Now this is pretty much halfway to making this happen. I'm going to go back. I'm going to click the home button, top left, and I'm going to go into the button that says email. Now here is the tricky part where at least some students have sort of slipped up and they weren't sure what to press and whatnot. This is the part where, to start a new message, the top right corner, you see the square with the pencil. Click on that. And then you have here's basically you're starting a new email message. So the students would then type in their teacher's name. I'm going to type in Brigette and click on mine. And just so you are aware, and I found this out sort of by accident, one of the students sent it this way. I was having them type my school address that goes to my Outlook box. This same one, even though this was my Gaggle address, it actually goes right to my Outlook. So just as a little side note, they can click on that without having to type your whole name. Let me try that one more time and show you what I did. I typed in the first 3 letters of my last name, B-U-R, and it showed up, and they can click on it. All right. Now I'm going to go to subject. You'd have them title it, let's say, student's name, and then maybe vocabulary, slideshow, or vocabulary. I'm just going to type vocabulary. And you might say, have the student type in something like, here is my slide show for printing. And then at this point, you have nothing attached to it. So it's kind of like one of those, we've all done it where we've sent an email and we forgot to attach. You have to remember to, the student has to remember to attach this now. It's in their locker. So you'll see the little button where it says advanced options, and underneath that says locker. You'll click on locker, and you're going to look for that file that they named. In this case, it was that presentation 4. Hopefully they do a better job of naming their file than I have done here. So I'm going to click on it. And you'll see you're kind of waiting. You're like, okay, when's it going to be done? It actually, as soon as I touched it, it went ahead and put the attachment right here in this spot with a little X in case that was the wrong one. Now to get out of this, you just tap anywhere on the screen other than another file. And you could, by the way, they could send a couple files if they'd like. I'm just going to have them send the one. And then all I'm going to do now is press the send button at the top. And now that it is sending, it's thinking. And again, once this sends to the teacher, it goes directly to my inbox. Now, I'm going to show you one other, just so you can realize, maybe some possibilities or some ideas. I'm going to go into another Apple program called Pages. Pages is basically Microsoft Word, Apple's version. So let's go into where we had a poem typed. Same thing in this one. You'll see the top right corner. Let's say the student, you wanted to display this in the classroom. You're going to click the square. I'm going to do that again. The square with the arrow. And then once you click the square with the arrow, you're going to say open in another app. Once you say open another app, I like to pick PDF. It's not necessarily the only method. You can send it in Word if that's what you have on your computer. I kind of like PDF. Word would allow you to maybe do some editing and whatnot if you needed to do that. If they were sending them back and forth as, let's say, Writer's Workshop, and you needed to do some editing with them. But I'm going to choose the app. Again, I'm going to choose Gaggle. And once it goes through the process of uploading it to my digital locker. It's called blank PDF. And I think, again, the student looks like they've done that 3 times. They can also go through and clear this out later if there are too many of one file. So it's already done. Uploaded successfully. It's there. I'm going to hit my home button once again. And I'm going to go to my email. Once I go to email, I'm looking for that square with a pencil in it up at the top, clicking on that. Here's where I type in BUR, find my name. Subject, you could say, this is my poem. And here is my poem. And again, you probably have you could establish some type of procedures on how you want students specifically to name things, or subject line, whatever you'd like to name it. I'm going to go ahead and click on the locker tab, and I'm looking for that blank. And again, as soon as you touched it, you'll notice the manage attachments, it pulled up right away. I'm going to touch somewhere on the screen, and at this point, it's just simply ready to send to my teacher. Okay, I hope that after watching that, you now have some ideas on saving and printing student work. If you have any questions, go ahead, and my email address is there. Feel free to email me. If you have any other ideas, I'd love to hear them. Also, just so you realize kind of what we just went through, just because they send it to you doesn't obviously mean it needs to be printed off. Then the teacher would have to send that to the printer like they normally would send anything else that they wanted to print off. So that is kind of the workaround. And it is a step that you have to do then, maybe it be after school, or if you're in the middle of writing and all the students send it to you at a certain time, and then you can be printing them and having a student, one student at a time, or, finding that responsible student that can go down and pick things up, just depending on the procedures you have in place. So again, hopefully that has helped you with saving and printing student work. And until next time, we'll see you then. Bye.